You're either Apple or Android, Coke or Pepsi, BMW or Mercedes, Ferrari or everyone else. And in the case of diabetes, you're either DEXCOM or Freestyle Libre. So in today's video, I'm gonna be reviewing my experience with both the DEXCOM and the Freestyle Libre as I wore them both on at the exact same time. We're gonna talk about the accuracy of the products, the user experience of the apps, the price point, the comfort levels, and any problems I had in between. And hopefully by the end of this video, we can determine which one is the right one for you, or for me. Anyways, let's get into the video. So in today's video, we're gonna be comparing the Freestyle Libre 2 against the DEXCOM G7. I used to be a very avid user of the DEXCOM G6, but the problem why I switched was because one, it was incredibly annoying, especially as it relates to all the notifications. I didn't really like the fact that I was bothering everyone in my family every time I got a low blood sugar or a high blood sugar, and then they were texting me worried all throughout the day. The new DEXCOM G7 was significantly thinner and is now significantly smaller than even the Freestyle Libre 2. Now at the time of making this video, the Freestyle Libre 3 is available. However, it's not available in Canada. I'm not even sure if it's available in the US. I do know that it is available in Europe. Right off the bat, the new software for the DEXCOM G7 blew me out of the water. Julian. It is significantly better in every way than the old technology with the G6. From just the user interface and onwards, this thing was amazing, super easy, super intuitive from the get-go. I made a video about the unboxing, so if you guys follow me on TikTok and Instagram, you can go find that at Evidence Nutrition. While the initial first setup of the actual first device was a little bit time consuming, after that I can see it being a breeze. I love the new G7's design as it is significantly smaller, and every single box comes with an over patch as well. For myself, I'm a very sweaty guy. I used that over patch from the start, and I had no issues keeping this thing on the entire time. I even did bump it a few times with my arm into the wall because, I don't know, I just am a super clumsy guy. And the residue when I took it off was actually quite minimal. It lasted the full 10 days. It was a pretty seamless experience overall. With the Freestyle Libre, you actually have to touch the NFC tag, aka you have to touch the phone to the actual device every single time you want to get a blood sugar. Now with the new software updates on the Freestyle Libre 2, you don't actually have to touch to it all of the time. However, if you ever disconnect your Bluetooth or you run into an issue where when you're sleeping, it might disconnect when you're turning, etc., then once it disconnects, you do have to tap it to reconnect. Otherwise, it's pretty good at staying connected the entire time. The DEXCOM, on the other hand, it stays connected the entire time. However, I did run into one connectivity issue when I'm sleeping. It disconnects far more frequently than the Freestyle Libre. That said, it reconnects pretty quickly, and I don't imagine anyone else is gonna go through this process of having two on at the same time. When they both disconnected, that was a lot of vibrations coming through my phone late at night. Again, that might be more of an ish me, not an ish you, because I'm a little bit larger. The one massive DEXCOM G7 improvement that they made was the fact that the DEXCOM G7 is not as annoying with its sounds and its notifications, and the new software allows you to be far more flexible with what kind of notifications you get, when you get, how they look, i.e. if they're vibration notifications or if they're an actual sound. And the sound doesn't really sound like you are getting killed at nighttime like the G6 one was. Sleep was not a good thing back when I was using the DEXCOM G6, which is why I switched away from it. But the DEXCOM G7 was surprisingly nice. While it still wakes you up, it's not like a, oh my God, the world is falling kind of feeling. That said, when we're dealing with those low blood sugars in the middle of the night or even high blood sugars, all of the people that always compare the Freestyle Libre to the DEXCOMs are always saying that they get so many more false lows with the Libre. And while that did happen 2 times, they were pretty much showing the exact same result at any given time. They were probably 0.2 off in either direction from each other at any given moment. The funny thing is that the Libre, like hours later, would correct this. So for example, if I saw 3.8 millimoles per liter blood sugar, hours later it would correct and like gaslight me into thinking that I had 3.8, right? It would later tell me like, oh no, you're actually 4.0, not 3.8. What are you talking about? It's weird that it does that, but I'm an average Freestyle Libre user, so I'm kind of used to being gaslit by now. The setup of the Freestyle Libre is actually a little bit easier despite all of the added plastics. They do provide you with an alcohol swab to also help in the process. One company provides you an alcohol swab, the other one provides you an overpatch. So if you're a very sweaty person, you're definitely gonna appreciate that overpatch. But if you are like me and you're a sweaty person and you have the Freestyle Libre 2, I use these overpatches from Amazon. They work quite well, and I'll actually leave them linked down below if you guys are interested in them. Yes, if you do purchase from this link, it will help support my channel, but you do not need to purchase this by any means if you don't want to. I am not forcing you. You can go purchase them separately, Google search it separately, and purchase it on your own. You don't need to support me if you don't want. The Freestyle Libre lasts 14 days, while the DEXCOM G7 lasts only 10. Still the exact same as the G6, which I find a little bit frustrating because naturally, what does that do? Raises the prices up. So from a cost perspective, the DEXCOMs are more expensive unless you have really good coverage. If it was the same either way, I would probably jump ship straight to DEXCOM, but for what it is, they provide a very similar result, very similar performance with some convenience benefits that go with the DEXCOM G7. Overall, for whatever reason, maybe it's just me, I found that the Freestyle Libre was far more comfortable, it was a little bit easier in the setup, and throughout the day, it's significantly less annoying. Now, I'm super grateful that I got to try this for 10 days, but for me, I am a very forgetful person, and while 10 days was fantastic, I cannot justify the cost for myself. If they were even field, if my coverage was equally the same for both, then I would be a DEXCOM dude. But in the current situation, I'm still gonna continue using my Freestyle Libre because while I do value having these features in my life, none of them are life altering. And for me, if it's not life altering, it's not really worth shelling out more money. You may be sitting there thinking,
well, Edin, it's probably only like 20, 30 bucks.
Yes, but that's 20, 30 bucks per month. I actually think it's a little bit more than that, but anyways, that's $20, $30 more that I would need to shell out every month for the rest of my life. It's not like Netflix, it's not like Instagram, it's not like whatever, where you can just like, 1 month I wanna pay, 1 month I don't. I need to pay this every month for the rest of my life. And that's really only news to you if you're not diabetic, which I doubt you're not diabetic if you're still watching this. What I wanna say with this is that I hope the Freestyle Libre 3 comes out with some really genius designs and really awesome new software updates and everything. I do love the fact that the DEXCOM is a CGM. The G6 made me very anxious and I hated it. The G7 made me a lot less anxious than even my Libre 2 does. But again, I'll see if I can get some coverage for it. Maybe I'll end up switching to DEXCOM, but for the time being, I'm gonna stick with my Libre 2, and I would love to know how you think about these two devices. Would you rather the smaller, slightly more expensive, but better tech product, or would you rather the one that does the same job, a little bit of rough around the edges and slightly larger, but lighter and more comfortable Libre 2? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you guys want me to make more diabetes content. This just happened to be a one-off because I was reviewing it, and it's a lot easier for me to just talk straight to the camera for YouTube than it is for Instagram or TikTok. Make sure you guys are following me on TikTok. I'm gonna leave all my links down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.